Alrighty, so the news is here, and the background looks a little bit different. I'm messing around with my room, so I don't know. Do with that what you will. Anyways, big patch. This is the summer patch, the one a lot of people have been probably waiting on for a while. 3-hour maintenance, which is pretty normal. Patch goes live around 12 o'clock my time because I'm about 3 hours ahead of PDT. We will be doing live summons and everything for the new banner, so if you want to subscribe, hang out, feel free to join the channel, do whatever you want to do. I'll be, live streaming the new stuff and probably making videos all the time. I do at least the daily uploads, sometimes two, depending on how much content there is. But obviously, it is the bikini update, the very cultured update for the individuals who have been waiting all year for it, I'm sure. We have a brand new green Freyja, which is very, very interesting. I didn't think the Mad Men would actually do Freyja as the summer unit. I was expecting an OC character, but I was really expecting a catastrophe. It seems like most of the time they end up going with catastrophes. I figured at best Freyja was going to get a costume, but they said, do we want a little bit of money or do we want all the money? And so here we are. They got all the money. So I assume a lot of people are going to be summoning on this banner. If you want my 2 cents, I think that there's a clear-cut example of... So if you use Red Freyja in Nidhogg, she is okay. She's pretty good. But you can't use her in PvP to the fullest extent because she doesn't get her Holy Relic. But if you use this new green Freyja in Nidhogg, you can still use the Relic, but now she's not going to have a passive because this character only has a PvP passive. So it's not ideal, but she has 2 single target attacks, which means that her Holy Relic is going to make it to where both of those cards have stance cancel, which can be very, very nice, and the cards themselves do really good damage anyway. So I think there's a lot of potential for this character to actually be good on Nidhogg, even without a passive, but I don't know if she's necessarily going to be the best option, because she's not going to have a passive. That obviously does kind of hold you back a bit. She does seem really strong in PvP so far, at least from what I've seen, which I've got to be honest, most of the people that I watch have really well-built accounts and everything like that, so I am kind of interested to see how she performs on my own account and everything. I can't really tell you how that's going to go just yet, but I've seen some of her single target damage, and it looks pretty crazy sometimes. Obviously, she's another Ragnarok character. We just got out of the Tyr banner. Tyr has a Unity, so a lot of people wanted to grab extra copies of him. She has an Abyss ultimate like the other Freyja, so if you want to use her ultimate, you're going to need extra copies, but I would say realistically, I'm fine with like a one and done. I don't even really want to go through the whole banner if I don't have to, because it's a crappy summer banner and most of the summer characters aren't that great, so not super worried about it. I would say if you already have an unknown team / Ragnarok team sort of built because of Tyr, or you've already had one, you've been sitting on one, this character could be pretty good, and you should have a team to just slot right into with her. But if you don't necessarily have that team, I would say that it should be a pretty easy skip. Like I said, though, there's a lot of potential that people end up using this Freyja over the other one for Nidhogg, which could be concerning because a lot of the times you really don't want to skip characters that could be good for the Demonic Beasts. She's a summer seasonal character, so she's not going to be on a whole lot of banners. It's just it's a weird conundrum that we're in. The next banner is supposed to be a festival banner as well, so it's probably going to be a really hard choice on whether you should just summon for her, get her out of the way, or just completely skip and hope that this, the festival character is like crazy good. Which honestly, I have no idea who it's going to be. I've seen a couple of people talking about maybe Demon King Zeldris, and I think that could be kind of cool, but not really sure. We haven't had it's been a long time since Festival Zeldris came out, but Ominous Nebula Zeldris isn't too old, so interested to see who it ends up being. We do have a new card set, which increases all allies attack by up to 3% for each applicable ally on the battlefield, and this is actually a humans and unknown race, which is kind of interesting, because that makes me think, oh, they're wanting to support, the Tyr Ragnarok team, but and they want to support the human team at the same time. I really feel like they should have done Ragnarok applicable as well, because if you think about it, this is basically for everybody except for Scotty, which is unfortunate that she gets left out. But realistically, a lot of the times these card sets don't make like the biggest difference. So not really sure that I would recommend you go out of your way for it, but hey, I mean, you get all the cards and stuff like that for free anyway, so it is what it is. We are getting LR Escanor, which is really, really cool in my opinion. I've seen so many comments over the past like week talking about, oh my god, it should have been the one Escanor, and I really don't understand the reasoning behind that. The one Escanor will surely get an LR in the future. This character is so old. He's so much older than the one Escanor. Why don't people think that he deserves this? Like, he really does. He was so cool on launch. He was the first Escanor to hit the game. Everybody was so hype about him. He got his own summon animation. It was super, super sick, and he finally got an LR. I think it looks really cool so far. I should be testing it out sometime in the near future, and I'll probably try to make a video on which one I prefer, because I know that a lot of people are saving up their LR coins or legendary seals at the moment and trying to determine whether they should get Lost Vein or Escanor. It seems like the general consensus is that Lost Vein works in a more broad sense, like he's not necessarily locked down to anything. Plus, there's that really annoying Lost Vein Deanne Bond team that's like sweeping the meta right now. That's really good. So Lost Vein seems like he might be better than Escanor, especially because he's festival level. But this Escanor does look really cool. He looks really fun. He's a little bit more locked down to humans, but I think you can still run him with other characters. You just won't get part of his passive, which just applies extra sort of stacks that he has. I think they're called like Eternal Flames or something like that. I can't remember. But he does seem really cool. So after I kind of get my hands on him and try him out a little bit, I'll try to give you like a full like explanation on my end on which one I would kind of prefer you choose, I guess. If you only have a chance to pick one, obviously if you're being able to gain seals at any rate, you'll be able to get them both eventually. But I guess it is kind of a burning question that a lot of people have. Here is his entire kit. If you don't know, the passive originally was whenever he gets full ultimate move gauge, he removes all buffs and debuffs, and then he just gains debuff immunity, which wasn't anything crazy, but it was really good at the time. Obviously, he didn't need to be anything super crazy. He came out within like 3 months of the game being out, so it was like really, really early. There wasn't a whole lot of like crazy sort of things in the meta at the time. But now, at the start, or at the end of the turn, applies 1 Eternal Flame for 3 turns on enemies that have not used a skill during the enemy's turn. If all allies, including the secondary slot heroes, are human... secondary slot? Why do they say it like that? I assumed it was supposed to be sub-slot. I assume they don't mean, like, association heroes, because that would be ridiculous. If all allies, including the secondary slot hero, are all humans... applies 1 additional Eternal Flame on all enemies at the start of the ally's turn for 3 turns. The hero's attack-related stats increase by 5% up to 30% for each Eternal Flame applied to the enemy, and then you have the rest of his normal passive. And then on top of that, the Eternal Flames are plus 15% damage taken with a stack up to 4 times. So they're just going to make you do more damage to the enemy. He also gets a... his original like attack card that just gave you ultimate move gauge, it has now been expanded upon, and it now has an explosion effect, which I thought was supposed to be the explode debuff, but it's something completely separate, which is explosion, which is plus 40% damage dealt per Eternal Flame on target. So kind of taking a note out of, Festival Estarosa's book or Mael's book, where they sort of apply these debuffs and then do more damage depending on how many debuffs are on the enemy. So kind of a similar concept there. So pretty cool in my opinion. I don't really hate that. It might take a little bit longer for you to sort of build him up, but he will do some really, really good damage. So his second card used to remove buffs on level 2 and 3. Now it removes buffs on level 1, and it used to apply 2 ignites on level 3. It now applies 4 ignites, and I think on level 1 it just goes ahead and applies 2 ignites, which is kind of crazy. So obviously that's pretty good. looking forward to that. Honestly, there's a lot of buffs in the meta right now. A lot of people using like Nanashi and stuff like that, so you can kind of use that to get rid of the taunt on tier, for example, or get rid of Nanashi buffs and everything, so you don't remove your ultimate move gauge. Like there's a couple of nice scenarios where the buff removal could be really really nice. His ultimate used to just do nothing. Like it only did pure damage, which was kind of crazy to think about. And it used to hit insanely hard because it goes up to 1,260%. And then if you have Merlin as his association link, it was 1,440%, which is pretty crazy. But now it ignores 100% of the crit resistance and inflicts the damage to the enemy. So gonna have a lot more chance to crit. I'm kind of surprised they didn't just add like Sever to it or something like that, but instead they just chose to ignore 100% crit resistance, which is kind of weird to me. But I mean, like, I don't know, I guess that's fine because it's technically not a like a skill effect, which I guess it doesn't matter because once he has full ultimate move gauge, he can't be like disabled or anything like that anyway. He's literally debuff immune, so I don't know, kind of weird. I would have expected them to just throw on like Sever to make it crit more instead, but interesting nonetheless. He looks like he's going to be a lot of fun. Very interested to try him out. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, obviously, like on my account, it'll probably be a couple of weeks before I can get access to him because I'm only at like 29 legendary seals at the moment. So yeah. Anyway, there's a lot to get through, and we're already 10 minutes in. Apologies for that. We'll try to speed things up. We do have new tournament statue in the West District for all of the people who participated in that big Whales tournament that they did. We do have 2 new costumes for summer. We have a new Awakened Roxy costume and another new Bond costume, which is pretty interesting. From my understanding, it does not seem like these are going to be purchasable with diamonds from what I can tell. It doesn't say specifically on here, which is very weird. I'm not sure why they're doing that with a lot of these more recent costumes, but it does seem like they're not allowing people to buy them with gems for whatever reason, which is really stupid. Not really sure why they're doing that, but honestly, I do really like this Roxy outfit. The Bond one is pretty alright. I like the haircut for it, but because I'm not going to be able to buy it individually, I'm not even going to worry about buying the whole costume because I bought the white tuxedo one, and I pretty much have max cosmetics at this point. And I throw all of that logic out the window because I'm probably going to buy Roxy's. So, new bundles, of course. We have new tickets and everything for the new banner. We have a couple of other bundles. We have some, equipment stuff here, a couple of demon mats and stuff like that. Nothing too crazy. Debuff effect improvements. Debuffed enemies will no longer show a debuff effect when using or being targeted by skills. Not entirely sure what that means, to be honest. Will no longer show a debuff effect when using or being targeted by skills. Okay. Debuffs will appear as usual during battle or when using Valor's Magical Eye feature. Okay, so very... I don't know. I don't know what that means, to be honest. If you can explain that to me, please do. Unless... I might just have to see that in game or something because I'm not entirely sure what that's trying to tell me there. Auto clear ticket improvements. We have consuming auto tickets or auto clear tickets will now have a shorter animation, so they sped it up some. And the number of auto clear tickets that can be used at a time will be increased from 10 to 30. So now you can skip 30 matches at a time, which is actually really, really nice. That should just help, blow through your tickets faster, like get all of your farming done in a lot, more of a timely manner, which is obviously really good. Like that, I can gold farm and stuff like that on, whenever. And when Fort Solverse is half stamina, we can do that too. So, summer special check-in. We have a 1 week long check-in event that's going to be going on. We have enough tickets right here to do 1 multi's worth on the new summer banner. You get those in the first 3 days, and then you get a couple of SSR pendants, and we have a couple of SA coins. So honestly, pretty nice login event. A buddy of mine was complaining that he would rather them have the mission so you can try to get them all in the first day, but honestly this isn't too bad. At least they didn't stretch the tickets over like the course of an entire week or anything like that, so it is what it is. You do have to wait like the entire 3 days, I guess, before you can do the multi, but either way. We do have a new world quest, Shaved Ice Please. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is just the one that they did last year. So I think I've seen a couple of screenshots from JP players on Twitter, and it seems like it's the same, but there are some decent rewards. I think you get like a couple of diamonds and some regular rewards and stuff like that. We have a new summer box. which can get any of these items out of it. Honestly, getting gems, SA coins, any of that stuff is actually kind of nice. I'm not going to complain with those. Hopefully we get a couple of these. I'm not entirely sure how many we get, but that sounds kind of cool. We do have an event stage, Secret of the Century Beach, which is now going to be... I guess this is like kind of like a battle event because it has the same sort of reward and everything, which is fine, I guess. We have Hawk's Dreamland coming back, which is kind of cool. This is basically just like an AFK sort of event that you can just let it build up stuff over time. You check on it every once in a while and upgrade Hawk so that way he either does more damage, more crit chance, or more crit damage. And then... yeah, he just beats enemies over time. I don't know. It's literally just like an AFK sort of event thing that you can do. I actually kind of like it. I think it's kind of funny. But overall, nothing like super exciting, but kind of cool. Just free little rewards and stuff like that. You get a couple of card packs here, and the exchange shop itself has some SSR pendants, anvils, and everything. So that's honestly not too bad. I think that's like 200 anvils actually, which is kind of nice. A couple of demon mats and everything, which is cool. You're gonna need a lot of XP potions if you're unaware to LR a character. It is absolutely insane how many XP pots you need. So make sure that you're farming those whenever you get a chance, or hopefully you just have enough on hand. But they are bringing back the Giant Hawk boss event, which honestly it's really gimmicky, but I guess it is what it is. You basically just like stall for 2 turns, gain these really big attack related stats buffs, and then you just nuke him, which is, I don't know, it's fine. It's kind of a boring event. It's really just like stall, like just move cards, gain ultimates, and then just one shot him. It's not anything like super crazy or anything like that, but I don't know. It looks like we could get a UR pendant, which is kind of nice, and some other just normal sort of rewards here. It looks like there's like a challenge difficulty medal instead. So is there like 2 new difficulties? Okay, so there's like hell. I don't know if they had hell last time, but you can clear it 5 times a day. So yeah, so it's almost like they're just structuring it like a final boss shop, which I'm not a big fan of, but the rewards look pretty good, so hopefully it's not super tedious. They are bringing back Hero Arena for Season 2, of course, because there's a new LR character coming out, so obviously this should be the same sort of concept as last time, where instead of 4 weeks, they're actually changing it to 6 weeks, but it's basically just going to be you fighting 3 separate characters. Each character has 5 different teams that you have to go through, and if you can beat it with as few teams as possible without losing, you know, a whole bunch of times, you get more rewards depending on the difficulty and everything and the amount of teams that you use. So, I don't know, there should be a couple of changes in here, and I'm really excited to see how it kind of goes, because there was obviously some stuff that was really annoying with the last one, but here's the big changes. Basically, Season 2 changes. Unexpected disconnection will no longer result in defeat. Instead, players will be able to resume battle from where they left off due to network issues. So basically, if you're aware of the sort of gimmick that people do where in Demonic Beast Battle you can close the app and reopen it and you'll be right back on the turn before you used your cards, I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to do the same thing in this now, which is good because they were playing it like it was like a purely PvP game mode where if you got disconnected you just lost, which really sucked because it would like reset a lot of progress and everything. So definitely not great, but they've, changed that now. No longer will there be a time limit for using skills during one's turn. So there used to be a time limit just like regular PvP. They've gotten rid of that, which is great. Heroes Arena will be open for 6 weeks, and the challenge or rewards and challenges will reset every week. So you get 2 additional weeks of actual, rewards, which is good. Heroes who receive seasonal buffs will be marked in the hero selection tab. So I'm pretty sure this is for the Heroes Arena only. I don't know. I've seen a couple of people sort of like talking about this being a cool feature and everything, which it is. It's kind of nice that they do mark it. If you're unaware, Heroes Arena does have like sort of seasons that they do where, certain enemies or certain units will have like boosted performance, which, they're going to hopefully show that now. I'm assuming it's Ragnarok characters if I had to guess. I don't think there's another, well, technically he's Ragnarok, so I guess maybe not. I'm not 100% sure which characters it's choosing if she's going to be a seasonal character. So we'll have to kind of wait and see, but these are the league rewards, of course. You get different boxes depending, and then, depending on which box you get, they have better rewards in them, of course. The seasonal shop is still not great. I mean, you're basically just going to be grabbing as much of these coins out of here as possible. and then the other rewards are basically going to go to waste, which is really unfortunate because unless you're like a really top tier player and you can get the max amount of coins every single week, then you're basically not going to be able to buy anything other than LR coins or these LR seals, which it seems kind of like a miss to me. Returning special costumes, so they are bringing back the last year's costumes with Freyja, Jormungand, and Lolly Merlin, so those are going to be available. They are also bringing back the old school costumes that are going to be discounted by 10 diamonds per piece. You have to buy these all individually. You can't buy them as a set. So these are for gyms, but like I said, I mean, if the new costumes aren't available for anything but money, that's really stupid. But yeah, you have all of these really old characters that are not really super relevant anymore, but you have these, I guess, which is okay. I mean, at best, here's a seasonal Lost Vein costume for your new LR Lost Vein, but like I said, the rest of these characters are obviously a little outdated, so maybe not worth investing into right now, but they are also bringing back costumes for Escanor himself, so you can get the Malevolent Knight set that a lot of people really, really like. This one's honestly really, really cool. I have that one, and I have the Ice Pimp Escanor outfit as well. When it came out, I bought that one as well. Yeah, they brought back a couple of his seasonal costumes, so you can grab those if you need to invest into him, since he is getting an LR. We have one battle event with Shin, and then they are adding tier to the SR race draw tickets. So that is looking like a pretty eventful patch. A lot of events and stuff like that for free rewards and everything. A couple of weird things, of course, but there is the new banner, which should be pretty interesting. Like I said, I will be doing live summons tomorrow night whenever the banner goes live, so if you want to swing by, hang out, that'd be cool. But that's pretty much it for me. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one.